Second Esdras and the Apocrypha, chapter 9 and verse 1. He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently and itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars, which is another word for protest, riots of the people in the world, and that's going to be the first video clip, nationwide, no king's protests taking place amid government shutdown. Then shall thou well understand. So when you see these things, you should well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world had a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. This is the book of Second Esdras, chapter 6 and verse 9. For Esau, which is the biblical nationality of the so-called white man, is the end of the world, because he's in the position of authority, the power seat. He's the ruler here in Babylon the Great, aka America. And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
Millions of people are expected to take part today. Organizers are saying that they expect it to be in the millions. 2,600 different events that they expect to be held as the day goes on today. You can see here outside the federal building, they've already got the fencing up. This fencing was not up several months ago. They think that this is going to be a repeat or a follow-up to what went on in June around the country. Now, groups organizing today's event say that they are in response to what they call an abuse of power by President Trump, including
a abuse of power. That's the reason why these protests are happening. And let's get what Isaiah the prophet seen about this abuse of power from your leaders. Isaiah chapter 19 in verse 1. And this is a message to Egypt. The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud. And what is that swift cloud that the Lord rides upon? The chariots, which is the UFOs or UAPs. And what is that burden unto Egypt? This word. A burden is a heavy weight. That's what's weighing America down and revealing and exposing all the bullshit, the wickedness, and shall come into Egypt. So the Lord is going to make an appearance here in America eventually. And how do you know that this place is spiritual Egypt? Look at the back of your dollar bill. What do you have on it? A pyramid, just like back in ancient Egypt. And the idols of Egypt here in America, where everything is idolatry, shall be moved at his presence. And the heart of Egypt shall melt. And they're starting to fear as they see these UFOs, these UAPs, these orbs that's now starting to visit Esau's world. That's Egypt's heart melting in the midst of it. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. So eventually there's going to be what? A civil war, a race war, a class war, a political war. And that's what we see going on with that Charlie Kirk. You got Democrat against Republican, black against white. So eventually there's going to be a civil war that kicks off here on the soils of America. Egyptians against the Egyptians. Showing you this is not speaking about the ancient Egyptian empire. Because they was in cahoots against who? The children of Israel. And they shall fight everyone against his brother. And everyone against his neighbor. City against city. And kingdom against kingdom. So eventually there's going to be what? A world war after race wars, class wars, sex wars, civil wars. And then eventually the Lord's going to finish this place with World War III. But first, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail. Don't we see the American economy collapsing? In a recession, a depression? and the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. That showing you this is not speaking about ancient Egypt. There was so much employment. They was chasing the children of Israel to get their asses back to work. And they shall seek to the idols. Who is the idols? AI, artificial intelligence, CERN, opening up the portals, demons. Ain't that what Elon Musk said about summoning the demons with AI, the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards? That's all you have here on the shores of America, witches and warlocks, wizards. And the Egyptians, you Americans, will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord. And a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts. So what are we having right now? Nationwide, no kings, a fierce king shall rule over them. Protests taking place amid government shutdown because the spirit of Egypt is failing.
Including the immigration crackdown and attempts to send in troops in cities like LA, Portland, and Chicago. Outside of Chicago this week, a number of arrests have been made at an ICE building. Fence around that building was coming down. Judge ruled the fence had to be removed because it was...
What do you see right here? Kind of like a civil war. Civilians against the authorities.
A safety hazard there. Republicans are branding today's event as Hate America rallies and say the rallies contribute to the ongoing government shutdown. That shutdown now on day 18 today. Organizers say these rallies are being organized by regular people and volunteers, but a number of groups, including the ACLU, are helping to plan them. They say that they are expecting the crowds to be quite large today. Now, here in LA, there are worries about counter-protesters getting involved in the events today. Back in June, they were peaceful through the day, the No King's Day rallies that went on, and then they devolved into violence later on in the night. There is that concern. Police telling us no known credible...
Because that's how America was established. So how is it going to go out? What did the Lord say about you reap what you sow? Job chapter 4. In verse 7, remember, I pray thee, whoever perish being innocent. So don't be surprised if you get a whole lot of protesters that end up dying, and also law enforcement. Or where were the righteous cut off? Because if they was right, they wouldn't have been cut off. Matter of fact, they're not going to be out there protesting because they understand and know that this is not our fight. We're not fighting for America to be made great again. We're fighting for this bitch to go out. Even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity, and so wickedness reap the same. By the blast of the Most High they perish, and by the breath of his nostrils are they consumed. So how was America established? Let's see real quick. Revelation chapter 18. And verse 20, rejoice over her. That's what we're doing right now. We're rejoicing as we see this bitch collapse in a recession, headed towards a depression. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for God had avenged you on her. And who is her? The nasty whore, America, Babylon the Great. And a mighty angel took up a stone, symbolic for the ICBM nuclear missile, like a great millstone. That's what it's made out of. Iron. And cast it into the sea. The sea is representation of the people here on the shores of America. Saying, thus with violence shall that great city, Babylon, America, be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. So what are they preparing for in these protests?
Involved in the events today. Back in June, they were peaceful through the day, the No King's Day rallies that went on, and then they devolved into violence later on in the night. There is that...
Because that's how the Lord said this place is going to go down, by great violence, because that's how it was established. Rape, robbery, and murder. Matter of fact, let's get it. Nahum chapter 3 and verse 1. Nineveh's complete ruin. What did the Lord say about Babylon? It's going to be thrown down and not found no more at all. And Nineveh was a merchant city. What's happening with the ports here in America due to the tariff, that cruel Lord, Donald J. Trump? Those cheap goods is not coming over here no more. This is modern day Nineveh, that merchant city, where the merchants are being cut off. Woe, which is destruction to the bloody city. The saints' blood is all over America, starting with the Native American Indian tribe, the indigenous of this land, who you raped, robbed, and murdered, and took and stole their land, the bloody city. But also Judah, when we got brought over here for chattel slavery, the transatlantic slave trade. Oh yeah, lynching us, castrating us, butt breaking us, burning us alive, alligator bait, lynching us. Oh yeah, that's still happening here in 2025. Niggas are still getting hung from trees. This is a bloody city. It is all full of lies. The history is bullshit and robbery. What are they doing to Venezuela right now? Getting ready to invade it, to go in there and rob and steal the resources. The prey departed not. Who is the prey? The children of Israel, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. The noise of a whip. What does that sound like? Chattel slavery, where they was whipping our backs. And the noise of the rattling of the wheels, chasing us, the taskmasters, and of the praising horses. That's what you got going on right now with ICE and the National Guard. And of the jumping chariots, airplanes, fighter jets. The horsemen lifted up both the bright sword, the military, and the glittering spear, the ICBM nuclear missiles. And there is a multitude of slain. They're dropping bombs on folks right now in the Middle East. Getting ready to pretty much invade Venezuela. Blowing up boats in the ocean, claiming it's boats with drugs on it. And a great number of carcasses, dead bodies all over the goddamn place. Remember, you reap what you sow. And there is none end of their corpses as they stumble upon their corpses. It's dead bodies all over the earth. Thanks to who? Babylon. America.
Concerned police telling us no known credible threats. Are seeing some chatter online, but they will be keeping an eye on today. Gio?
Oh yeah, today. Here, October 18th, 2025. This is what's going on. Fueled by Riot Inc. No Kings launches nationwide color revolution style mobilization against Trump. That cruel lord.
Hey guys, Dabu7. We have the No Kings protest taking to the streets again today across the country. You can see on the right a piece of the map off their website that lists all these different locations. And you're going to see the more action in the places that have the stars. For instance, last time this happened, I think it was Trump's birthday in June of this year. Some of the locations around me, several, had nothing going. There was no one there. So they were just put on the map to make it look like it was a bigger event. No one showed up at those places, but I am in the mountains. If you go to the bigger cities, you're going to see more of this. You're going to see larger crowds. It's just the way that it is. The more people, the larger the crowd. And you're going to see some decent marches out there, depending on where you're at. I'm going to say that the Democratic stronghold type places are definitely going to see larger events go down. But all of this is being fueled by what we call Riot Inc. now. This is a Democratic Party dark money NGO network that we know that Soros is funding. He's been funding this stuff since Ferguson. And even had Trump come out here recently and say, I think we got Rico on Soros. We're going to go after him. Well, it's a puppet show. I'm still waiting for Hillary for president. Yeah, that's right. It's a puppet show out here. And what that means is that the stage can get set for chaos. Okay? Now, they did this large scale with...
And that's exactly what's going to eventually kick off. Chaos. And is that written? Let's see. Second Esdras and the Apocrypha. Chapter 15 and verse 14. Woe to the world, which means destruction, and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. Armageddon, World War III is getting closer each day that goes by. And one people shall stand up and fight against another. Egyptian against Egyptian. Civil war, race wars, class wars, sex wars. And then eventually world war. And swords in their hands. The modern day sword is what? Guns. Something that we have more than citizens. That's why they want to take away your Second Amendment. For there shall be sedition among men. That's what you see. Sedition is what? revolt or rebellion against the government. No kings protest. And invading one another, they shall not regard their kings. No kings. Speaking about who? That cruel Lord, Donald J. Trump. Nor princes, your governors, your politicians. And the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city. So it's going to eventually get bad. And shall not be able. They're going to have to initiate what? Martial law. The National Guard. For because of their pride, you Americans, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and man shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, because there's going to be what? A civil war. But shall destroy their houses with the sword, the guns, and spoil their goods. It's going to be like the purge out here in these streets because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation, because the economy is collapsing. That's the reason why they're protesting. The government is shut down. There's not going to be no more bread inside of the grocery store. No jobs to work for you to pay your bills. Homelessness, poverty, all. Man, it's just going down here in this goddamn place. And that's what we see happening.
BLM went through city after city, burned them down. This is a bit of a different animal here, but still they're reaching for the same effect, to try to cause chaos. Let me remind you of this. The National Guard troops are going to be on the front line of all this action, and it depends on who uses them first. In Texas, you have Abbott saying they're deploying the National Guard now to these spots inside of Texas, wherever there's any chaos. He, along with other governors, were sending their troops up to Chicago here recently to help out there. So you're going to see a shift in troop movement. You also have this big event where they're holding all this stuff for the Navy there in California. I-5 is expected to be jammed up and all this other stuff and collide with this No Kings protest. So the stage is set out there for clashes to happen. And I just want people to know, if you see anything popping off, it's all part of this bigger orchestration here, if you will. And when it comes to the National Guard, do remember that the governor has the right to choose what happens with his troops first and foremost. If they don't do anything with them, and then Trump wants to continue to press the issue, he can call upon certain states to cough up their National Guard so they can use them. What's the difference? The difference is, if Trump uses them, they're going to be sent in with ICE to protect and help them. If the state uses them first, like they just did in Oregon, that means the police on the ground, the National Guard, will be protecting the protesters, as they are on film saying. That means the National Guard will then be used against ICE. And this sets the stage for civil war.
There you go. The National Guard is going to be against who? ICE. Eventually. Same book, 2nd Ezra chapter 6. And what is it? Verse 18. And it is said, behold, the days come. Those days are no longer coming. They're here. That I will begin to draw nigh. The Lord rideth upon what? A swift cloud. Those UFOs, those UAPs, they're drawing nigh. Three-eyed Atlas. They had visitors. And to visit them that dwell upon the earth. They had a company of other light sources that was out there in the three-eyed Atlas. That's the Lord drawing nigh and visiting. And will begin to make inquisition. He's doing an investigation of them, what they be that have hurt unjustly. Woe to the bloody city. It is full of lies and robbery. And the prey departed not. Esau has hurt unjustly with ICE, National Guard. Hey, going even further back, the Ku Klux Klan, what was they doing? Lynching niggas with their unrighteousness. And when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled. So our captivity is almost up. Esau is the end of the world. And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And when the world, Esau's world, that shall begin to vanish away. The USA economy is collapsing. It's in a recession. a depression. This place is vanishing away. Shall be finished. Then will I show these tokens, the signs. The book shall be opened before the firmament. What are we in right now? The books. The book of second asterisks. What are we on right now? The World Wide Web. That's in the firmament, the satellites. And they shall see all together. What do we see? The end of Esau's world. Jumping down to verse 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The spirit of Egypt is failing. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Great tribulation because the lack of bread, famine, and the trumpet shall give a sound. Those nuclear sirens, that nuclear missiles are on their way to America, which when every man hear it, they shall be suddenly afraid. And that trumpet is sounding right now, which is the Lord's servants, his prophets, telling you that World War III is coming. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies. What did he say about ICE and the National Guard? They're supposed to be working for the same entity. Let's hear that one more time.
That means the police on the ground, the National Guard, will be protecting the protesters, as they are on film saying. That means the National Guard will then be used against ICE.
Woo! The National Guard will begin to be used against ICE.
And this sets the stage for civil war.
There you go. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, a civil war. And the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, a famine of the word. Because this is the true living waters. But it's literally going to be a drought because the spirit of Egypt is going to fail. And in 3 hours they shall not run a certain time period. Whosoever remain from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation. Salvation is for who? The children of Israel. And the end of your world, Esau's world. Woo, we see it.
Out. Some people may say, oh, it's nothing. Well, they're definitely trying for something. That's for sure. And I don't see this going away. It's like the party's just getting started. And this is the new thing, the no kings across the country here. You know, outside of the politics, I don't get caught in the left-right paradigm. We're above and beyond that. And what I see, because I've been in this for so long, is them doing just that, setting the stage for chaos. I've been through all this before with BLM for years and years and years, and even some time now with all this. So, again, no kings. The people have a right to protest and to flex their rights out there, but also beware that they're labeling some of these groups domestic terrorists. And
that's going to help kick off the insurrection, the civil war, labeling you are protesters, you U.S. citizens, as domestic terrorists.
This is a slippery slope. Just remember, as everyone sits back on the right, and they're like, oh, they're labeling Antifa and all these people extremists, you just wait till they give you another Biden, a Newsom, and it all turns around. They turn the tables, and all these laws you sat there and cheered on are used against you.
There you go.
Are you really that small-minded and short-sighted to not see that?
There you go. And that's written. Let's get it. Isaiah. As soon as it loads. Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 1. Assyria is God's instrument. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees. What is a decree? Unfair laws. That's what a decree is. What is DJ Trump getting ready to initiate? Martial law, which is severe like measures, where the Constitution, U.S. citizens' Constitution, your rights are going to be suspended. And that right grievousness, which they have prescribed, something that's prescribed is already written. They just need the right false flag attack, the right scenario, the right crisis. Never let a good crisis go to waste. So they can roll out those draconian measures that's going to be grievous. To turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right. There you go. They're going to take away your rights from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. Woe to the bloody city. It is full of lies and robbery. The prey departed not. And what will you do in the day of visitation? So the Lord is, starting to draw nigh, because he's going to visit these unjust rulers for all the wickedness that they have done to the world. And in the desolation which shall come from far, those ICBM nuclear missiles that's going to come from Russia, China, Iran, Turkey, to whom will you flee for help? And where will you leave your glory? The Lord's going to strip America from its glory.
I don't get it. You don't see the trap? It's the trap. Always has been. Right? So, again, people should exercise the freedoms. You use them or lose them around here, but you got to watch out for stage stuff. Very few things are natural, and they have a hand in all this.
There you go.
Again, Trump already
control opposition. A lot of these are paid agents out there protesting, sending your asses out, even though their liberties, their rights are going to be stripped as well, dumbasses.
Said Soros and all them are involved in backing this. We know Buffett, we know Tides, we know all these different organizations. They're all exposed. Called Riot Inc. that's funding this. Funding every bit of it. So if anything comes of it, you already know who's responsible. And I've said forever, that's treason. To pay for chaos to be caused in the country like they did with BLM, that was treasonous. Burning down cities, causing terror and chaos. Well, where's the good old boys at? Where's the patriots at? What happened to all the militias that 10 years ago used to flex around here and be proud of it? They're like nowhere to be seen. It's an SOS for anyone out there that can see it. Good old boys better start getting it together, coming together, and snapping out of a MAGA spell, that's for sure. This isn't about politics. This is about seeing beyond it and above it, not getting lost into it, drug into it, and being cannon fodder in the middle. You have to be smarter. Anyhow, there's definitely going to be chaos out there somewhere today. I just don't want none of you to get caught in it. But again, people have a right to peacefully protest. But there's so much more to this. Join me for the live streams, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern, where I'm talking about this and a whole lot more.
So there we go. Close it out with one last precept. And this is going to be 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 6. For this cause was the gospel preached also to them that are dead, that they might be judged according to man and the flesh, but live according to Yahweh, the power and the spirit. But the end of all things is at hand. And we see what? The end of Esau's world is being made manifest. Be ye therefore sober, having a clear state of mind. And how do you stay sober? Being in this book, the Holy Bible. That's what keeps you sober-minded. And watch unto prayer. It says in 1 Thessalonians, pray without ceasing, meaning continually. And above all things, have fervent charity among yourselves, brotherly love, sisterly love, for the body, the church. For charity shall cover the multitude of sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging, as every man had received the gift. And that's what this truth is. The Heavenly Father has granted us with a gift. Even so minister the same one to another as good stewards. And that's how you have hospitality. That's how you have fervent charity, by sparing this gospel, the good news, giving it to one another. As every man had received the gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of God. If any man speak, let him speak. That's how we do what? Stay sober. Let him speak as the oracles of God. We're speaking the words right now. That's how we stay sober. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which God giveth, that God in all things may be glorified through Yahushua HaMashiach. That's what it's all about. Giving Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua the glory. This is not about us. We're rolling that red carpet for our Lord and Savior's second return, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. And we'll close it out with that. Call hello Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai for giving me the spirit to do this lesson. Kwam Yashala, which means rise, Israel. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, the men, women, and children that serve in the Lord in sincerity and also truth, man. Hold on, we almost home. Shalom.